Children, as we start according to the syllabus for our next chapter, now the next chapter is the Indian economy, the primary sector. Now just as a recap, as you have studied earlier, the sectors of the economy, before we go into the core part of the primary sector, the sectors as we discussed, the sectors one we had, that is the primary sector. Okay, the primary sector. The second one we had, that's the secondary sector, and the third one is the tertiary sector. Now, what does these three sectors basically comprise? Primary sector are basically the primary sector refers to the industrial, or the primary sector refers to the agricultural and the allied activities. Secondary sector refers to the industrial activities, and the tertiary sector refers to the service sectors. So, the primary sector, that is the agricultural sector. Now, when we are discussing about the primary sector, that is the agricultural sector, we cannot restrict ourselves to, in the subject economics, we don't restrict ourselves to the study of agricultural sector only. We also include the allied activities that we will be coming into this chapter. Allied activities means it may be fisheries, it may be mining, it may be dairy farming, it may be horticulture, okay, it may be poultry farming. So all the land-based activities are basically referred as the primary sector. Okay. Secondary sector refers to the industrial sector or the manufacturing unit, where we talk about the factories, we talk about industries, we talk about different manufacturing units. Maybe medium scale, maybe large scale, maybe small scale. The industries including the heavy industries, including the medium scale industries, or even the small and cottage industries. So that below that are those all fall under the category of the secondary sector, that is manufacturing of goods and services. And finally the tertiary sector. So the secondary sector is mainly the industrial sector, we also call is the industrial sector, where or the manufacturing sector or the manufacturing unit. Okay, so this is the secondary sector. And the tertiary sector refers to the service sector. Service sector means the services that we generally avail. We pay for those services. Different companies providing services. We talk about goods and services. So goods are produced in the secondary sector. The services which are produced or rendered, okay, which are rendered against the price, that those services, all the services fall under the category of the tertiary sector. Now this tertiary sector, the services, if you take the examples, okay, you can talk about the transport service, you can talk about the telecommunication service, you talk about the insurance service, you talk about the banking services, okay. So all these services, you talk about telecommunication, as I mentioned, you are doing class online. So online data, transfer of data, talking over phone, using the internet facilities and all these services provided to you or to us, to the economy, fall under the category of this tertiary sector. So tertiary sector is referred as the service sector that has all these services being provided in the economy. All the services being provided in the economy. So these are the three sectors that we are talking about in the economy. Mainly the three sectors broadly categorized. Any economy broadly categorized so as the Indian economy, the primary sector, the secondary sector and the tertiary sector. In the previous one of the chapter we have discussed about the features of each sector, the features. Now we are going to learn one by one. We will be having the tertiary sector, the agricultural sector as a separate unit, going into the details of that as per our syllabus. Then we will be going to the secondary sector and then we will be going to the tertiary sector one by one. So presently we will be starting with the chapter of the primary sector. Now we come to the definition of primary sector. Primary sector refers to the agriculture and the allied activities, and the allied activities means associated activities associated with agriculture. So associated activities like poultry farming, dairy farming, horticulture, fishery and other land-based activities like mining and quarrying. Now here I would like to tell that there are few names that you are familiar with. You may not be familiar with one or two words, coming to it one by one. Now agriculture, when we talk about agriculture, now this agriculture, when you are telling for agriculture, what things may be happening? Agriculture, it may be plowing, sowing of seeds, you have weeding, you have application of fertilizers, okay, then harvesting and so on. So these are what agriculture refers to. So that's the basic primary sector activities, primary sectorial activities we are talking about. And along with all these agricultural activities, cultivation of crops, what you can also mention here, cultivation of crops. Okay, along with this plus agriculture, all the activities plus what? The allied activities. Now what are these allied activities? Now these allied activities are, it may be poultry farming, it may be fisheries, dairy farming, rearing of cattle and all. When you rearing of cattle means it may be like hens and all, the farm. Please be careful with the word spelling farm, F-A-R-M. For agricultural activities or farming we use the word F-A-R-M. And the same word with different spelling but same pronunciation is F-I-R-M, that refers to the manufacturing units, that is the industrial units. That refers to the industrial units, F-I-R-M. And for agricultural activities, it is F-A-R-M. So, poultry farming, cattle rearing, dairy farming, okay. Then you have these fisheries, horticulture. Then you have horticulture, with the plants, decorated plants, and for decorative plants, medicinal plants, okay. So, cultivation and working with them, cultivation of those such crops. Medicinal plants, decorating plants, fisheries, we are quite familiar, and other land-based activities like mining. We all know about mining, what mines, working with the mines, okay, from the ores and all, extracting different minerals, okay, and quarrying, land-based activities, quarrying means working with the rocks, cutting of the rocks, bringing out rocks, different type, working with rocks, different these marbles are being used. Then there's all these different rock activities, different types of in the houses, buildings, different buildings, constructional works, maybe roads, maybe bridges, maybe dams and all, various types of rocks. So cutting of the rocks, so working with the rocks we call them quarrying. So these are all the land based activities we are talking about that fall within the primary sector. So primary sector is not only the agriculture, but it is agriculture plus it is agriculture plus the allied activities, all with all these. Okay, maybe fisheries, maybe poultry, maybe dairy farming, horticulture, forestry, and land-based activities like mining and quarrying. So this is all about the primary sector concept. What is primary sector basically? So I would request you all to please read the text properly, listen to the explanations if required, repeatedly, minutely, vividly, and get the idea, concept clear, what primary sector is. What does primary sector refers to? Okay.